Graffiti is not art when it's done without consent. It's vandalism. That's what Speaker Frank Bloss Jr. had to say as he introduced Bill No. 167, a measure to increase penalties for graffiti violations on public and private property.
When you see a wall that's newly painted, or a mural, sometimes the joke amongst the community is, okay, when is that going to get tagged? Okay, and that's not who we are. We're better than that.
The measure proposes these enhanced penalties: an increase for the first offense from $1,000 to $2,000, an increase in fines for subsequent offenses to $4,000, imprisonment for up to 180 days, up from the current 120 days, and increased punishment for adults convicted of violating sections from the Guam Code pertaining to graffiti from a mandatory 60 days to a mandatory 120 days.
Hopefully it serves as a deterrent, recognizing that if you do get caught, and it's not for art purposes or purposes that is accepted and acknowledged by the community, there's a hefty fine as well as some time, behind bars.
And he's kept our island's youth in mind during the drafting process.
There's also a provision that basically says parents, you're responsible for your children, for the actions of your children.
In the case of a minor being caught doing illegal graffiti, the parents or legal guardian will be held responsible for payment of all fines. If the parents or legal guardian fail to make payment, a lien will be filed on their property to include the fine and court costs. Separate from the impact graffiti has on residents, in the eyes of the speaker, the graffiti littering Tumon also isn't helping Guam's chances of rebuilding its tourism industry.
Before you decide you want to invite somebody to your home, make sure your home's clean. Okay? And so while we're out there trying to entice people to come to Guam, because it's safe, we have sun, sand, and surf, there's plenty of things to do. What are we showing them?
So it's going to take a group effort, not just from the Guam Police Department, Park Police, or even our mayor's offices, but from the entire community.
There's been a sense of apathy within the community. You can have a number or an increased number of police officers, but it really takes the community's effort.
So the speaker's message is simple. If you see something, say something.
I would hope that this kind of legislation wasn't necessary, that we didn't have a graffiti problem, that people would take more responsibility for their actions, and that the community become more aware and more vigilant towards these type of actions.
Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.